There are generally three types of cable joints are used, which are categorized as 1. Heat shrink, 2. Cold shrink, 3. Chemical type. What is heat shrink cable joint? The answer is, in heat shrink joint, heat shrink tube is used. Heat shrink tube is a shrinkable plastic tube used to insulate wires, providing abrasion resistance and environmental protection for stranded solid wire conductors. Heat shrink tube is made of nylon, which shrinks radically, not longitudinally, when heated. Heat shrink technology was invented by Raychem Corporation in 1962. What is cold shrink cable joint? The answer is, cold shrink technology molds round a cable joint or cable termination under its own elasticity without need for special cable tools or installer techniques. Cold shrink comes stretched over a removable plastic core, allowing the tube to be slide over the application, the core removed and the tubing will contract to create a watertight seal around the cable. What is chemical type joint? The answer is, chemical cable joints are suitable for low voltage jointing of XLPE, PVC, and utility cables. Chemical joints should be done by using chemical compound, which is combination of hardener and resin. Now we are going to concentrate on chemical type or resin type joint. Before making joint, first we have to prepare cable for making joint. Eliminate the burnt portion of cables. Evenly cut the cable using a sharp hacksaw with the optional plastic saw. A sharp knife should be used to strip the XLPE insulation from the conductor. Exercise extreme care while cutting the insulation to avoid cutting the conductor. Cut the outer sheet of both end of cable, just half of copper earthing braid that was present inside the jointing kit. Expose the conductor having length equivalent to half ferrule length plus 10 mm. Minor impressions shall be made on the armor to break it by bending and then twisting it in opposite direction. Cover the end of cores with PVC tape to avoid dirt contamination. Same process will repeat for other portion of cable. Earthing arrangement. Insert the Jubilee clamps on the cable and position them on the outer sheath. Fan out the armor strip/wires and insert backup ring on inner sheath. Fold back the armor strips over the backup ring. Position the backup ring in such a way that 5 mm of its length remains outside the armor. To hold the back ring, apply 2 layers of PVC adhesive tape at the edge of the backup ring. Insert the earth braid between armor and the backup ring. Fan out the armor strip/wires and insert backup ring on inner sheath. Insulation tape shall not be sandwiched between joints. Firmly tighten the Jubilee clamp so that the braid wire gets properly connected to the armor. Ensure the fixings is properly done. Bend the earth braid backwards to avoid obstructions to other process. Connector attachment and lug crimping. Length of the insulation to be removed shall match with the ferrule length. Care should be taken during insulation removal. By using incorrect methods, conductor strand may cut. This can result in individual strands breaking free, leading to resistive hotspot around the connector area, causing joint failure. The cable insulation must be free from all moisture and contamination. Contaminations include mud on the outside surfaces and semiconductive particles. If these contaminants remain of the insulation surfaces, can lead the joint failure. Conductors to be inserted from both ends into the ferrule to be crimped. Before conductor insert, inhibition corrosion paste should be filled in ferrule. Conductor stranding lay, twist pattern, should not be disturbed and strands of cables must be inserted into the ferrule tube 1 core at a time. Align the respective cores. Fan out other cores to avoid any obstruction. Jaw of lug crimping tool to be placed over the ferrule and pressed until the two are firmly joined. Crimping shall start from one end of ferrule and extend all the way to other end. Crimping shall not be done on the end of sleeve, as this will cause the edge of the sleeve to cut into the monofilament. After crimping the ferrule, irregularities should be removed by an abrasion cloth and cleaned with cotton waste/cloth. Slightly peel the wrapper of mastic tape and start winding on the ferrule starting from the insulation, 20 mm on either side, to other end. During the winding of tape, slight stretch should be maintained and complete roll to be wound, to and fro. Care should be taken to overstretch, Narrow portion winding and bare conductors are totally covered. Only one core of the cable being worked on shall be made bare at a time, and the jointing work on each core shall be completed and the core re-insulated before a second core is made bare. In case the color coding is not visible, the cores shall be tested before any connection is made between them in order to ensure that they are at the same potential. Clean the cables with sponge soaked in cleaning liquid. Insert the core separator, spacer, in between the cores on both sides. Care should be taken to properly fix the spacer that can damage the mastic tape. 2 round PVC tape should be wound to hold the spacer intact. Remove the temporary wrapping of PVC tape. Insert the earth braid between Jubilee clamp and armor of other side of cable. Tighten the hardware of Jubilee clamp. Ensure the fixings are intact. Transparent mold fixing. Cut the cable entry portion of the mold according to the outer diameter of the cable. Ensure the holes are present and burr-free on the head of transparent mold. Fix the foam strip at both ends of the cable entry portion in such a way that half of its width remains outside. Wing PVC tape to hold the foam in place. Properly place lower half of mold and keep support from bottom. Place the top mold over the lower and fix intact. Press the edges of top and bottom portion of the mold and fix intact. Wind 2 rounds of PVC tape on the mold. Encapsulation of joint. Apply M-Seal at both the cable entry portion to seal the cable entry portion. After plastic mold completely installed, open the resin container and stir the contents gently but thoroughly until it becomes homogeneous. Operator must wear hand gloves while mixing resin with hardener. Metal spatula should always be used for stirring, since the wooden spatulas contains moisture which creates carbon dioxide gas bubbles. Add all the contents of identically marked hardener bottle into the resin container and carefully mix with the help of spatula for about 3 to 4 minutes very slowly. Vigorous mixing usually results in large amount of air being whipped into the mixture and hence vigorous and fast mixing should always be avoided. The compound is now ready for use. The mixed compound is fast setting type, so start pouring it into the mold immediately after stirring. The earth braid must not obstruct the path of flow. Press the mouth of container to enable fine route for pouring the compound. Pour the compound slowly into the mold. In case leakage is noticed while pouring the compound, apply self-adhesive tape at leakage. While pouring, the chemical plastic mold must be in horizontal position. During pouring the first chemical container, second container must be stirring to avoid setting of chemical. Pour the compound from other tin after completion of first tin. The mold cap should be fitted at the pouring gate once the mold in full. The sealing cap should press fit on the pouring gate. Backfilling of earth can be done after 45/60 minutes depending on the weather conditions and area. If you like this video, then please subscribe my channel, and also not forget to like and share this page.